This game is basically what you would get if you took Risk of Rain 2 and gave it its own spin. It's a third-person shooter where you explore a massive map, shoot a lot of stuff, and try to survive increasingly difficult waves of enemies, while consistently upgrading your character with buffs. So before you start, you pick a Warden, each with their own unique movement abilities and special attacks. The first one can basically fly around like Superman, which of course is pretty cool for covering ground quickly. The second one is all about dashing and slicing through enemies, kind of like a hit-and-run fighter. The third one, seen in the demo, hovers and has some powerful orbital strike abilities. The different guns we've seen include stuff like railguns, plasma weapons, some kind of futuristic sniper rifle, a cryo flare that can shoot both icicles and fireballs, depending on the firing mode, and this rapid absorption deconstructor rifle. Each gun has 2 firing modes, but you need to watch out because they can overheat. Once you're in a level, your main goal is to find and activate 3 transmitters that are scattered around the map. And while you are doing this, the enemies keep spawning and getting stronger, so you can't just take your sweet time exploring. When you activate a transmitter, it will actually point lasers toward the other 2, which helps you find them faster. As you kill enemies, they drop these bits, which is basically money that you can use to buy upgrades at terminals. These upgrades are called augments, and they can do things like increase your damage, give you more shields, or add special effects to your attacks. You will also find crystals around the levels that give temporary bonuses when you shoot them. For staying alive, there are health pickups scattered around, and you have a shield that can recharge. Each character also has an ultimate ability that charges up over time. Like the flying character can launch a barrage of rockets, while the dash character can do this blade storm attack that chains between enemies. One cool thing is the vertical design of the levels. They are pretty huge and open, which is why having different movement abilities for each character matters so much. In this game, you're definitely not just fighting on flat ground. You are frequently moving up, down and around obstacles. The game can be pretty challenging, even with all your abilities and upgrades. It's easy to get overwhelmed if you're not careful, and getting hit really punishes you. So you have to play smart and use your movement abilities to stay alive. You can play solo or team up with 2 other players, and the game adjusts the difficulty accordingly. It's still in development currently, but will not be an early access release once it releases on January 8th. So they are constantly tweaking things like movement speed, weapon balance, and quality of life features like auto-collecting money drops. And that sentence concludes today's video. If your time was respected, a like or comment is very much appreciated.